It's another episode of This Week in Google Glass. This week we have a guest on, Stefan Holodnick. I hope I just pronounced that right. I tried to pronounce it in my head a few hundred times. But then, the tragic news that we just got a couple hours ago about Sir Robin Williams, and we'll talk about that. We've got a whole lot of great stuff, and it's This Week in Google Glass. Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here from Geekazine, Think Magazine, Put in a Geek. You've got, of course, Geekazine, and then, of course, This Week in Google Glass, or twig.tv, twigg.tv. You can go there and find out what's going on with This Week in Google Glass. I'm glad to be back, and Luke, I bet you're glad to be back from that water park as well, right?
Oh, definitely. It's gotten real hot in Texas, and we're all having a good time down here. We took a week off last week, and yeah, I was at this time I would have been just leaving the water park after a full day out in the sun and getting wet, but not wearing glass because they explicitly say don't go scuba diving in it. So I figure water park's right out.
Oh, did you go scuba diving?
No, but I figured I was getting about as wet as you would scuba diving, going under the water and getting sucked under in the undertows and stuff. So it was fun.
That's cool. I was at Disney World, or Disneyland, not Disney World.
Cool brag.
Disneyland.
Cool brag.
But I didn't go to Disneyland. I spent the whole week at the Disneyland Hotel, and it's an enterprise company called Nth Generation, and they had a symposium, and so I went to Anaheim, and we had a lot of fun. Got a lot of video, which won't be up on Geekazine because I got contracted by somebody else to do it, but you will see some of the videos up there if you are in an enterprise area there. So, but I just want to show you one picture here, which I'm trying to pull up. I don't know why. Don't tag. I don't want you to tag it. Cheese and crackers. I just want to show you this one picture because this was the quintessential weekend moment for me, and here it is right here. If you've ever been to Disneyland and Disneyland Hotel, you know that there's a lot of Disney theme inside of the hotel. And cool thing about Disneyland is they also give you cool terry cloth robes. So I just had to make this scene, this whole picture look cool.
Yeah, that's an awesome picture, I gotta say.
You like that? You like that?
Oh yeah.
So, and I think this actually is enhanced. Let me see if we got the normal here.
Oh, you turn it off.
I think that's the normal there. But yeah, I had a lot of fun there. So spent a couple days there. Unfortunately, one of my computers, I think, just died on the way back. So I'm a little bit concerned about that because it's a computer. So I'm gonna have to play with that. But I got my other computer. I think I got more than enough computers to not have to worry about it. So, did you get any pictures at the water park there, Luke?
Just a quick selfie with the wife, just to send back to work so people knew, oh right, he's not at work today, he's at the water park. But nothing with glass. Yeah, I wasn't wearing it, so.
Oh, that's right. You didn't take them down. You didn't wrap them in plastic wrap or anything.
No,
like that?
I just didn't. They don't sell a waterproof case. Hey, they're free idea for the glass team. Sell a waterproof case for glass and people might buy that to take on trips like this, or to places that they might get wet. So, or anybody else could make it, I guess.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of a neat thing.
Or just make the glass waterproof.
Yeah, or just go Galaxy S5 Active and make the entire device just waterproof so that you could take it. Actually, that would probably be pretty easy. There's not many electronics in it.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's just right here where this would have to seal. And the sensors are probably all sealed. But then, just like, because the Sony Xperia that I got that we talked about a couple weeks ago, they just have a plug to plug in the USB mini so the water doesn't get in there. So other than that, if you get the buttons nice and waterproof, then you don't have to worry about it too much. And I'm pretty sure they've done some stuff with the buttons because I'm sweating like a dog right now. and I don't have, my glass is still working. Well, it's not charged up right now, but they're still working as far as I know. So I don't know.
It's pretty
They
good for
must be
you.
doing
You were killing them left and
left
right
and
last
right. Yeah,
summer.
yeah,
So
yeah. There was not a pair of glass that I didn't kill last year.
yeah, yeah, it's impressive.
Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Really quick, really quick. Just some thoughts, really, and I know this is so off topic, but Robin Williams passing
Uh,
away. Um, it took me by surprise a couple hours ago. I was in shock for over 10 minutes. So I don't know. I don't know if it was big influence on my life growing up, and of course, I've got to go see the one movie that is pretty much quintessential Robin Williams and what started his career, and that is The World According to Garp.
mm, yeah.
So it's the ultimate geek movie. So thoughts on that?
Yeah, big shock. It's one of those things that it's like, wait, is this one of those hoaxes? Because it's like it
Yep.
sounds like a hoax. It just like it sounds like it. No, that can't be true. He's way too young. Um, you know, just yeah, doing great. Still making movies. Still, appearing on talk shows. Hugely popular. Like I don't know. I'm sure we'll learn more details over the next week. But yeah, huge influence. I've always enjoyed watching his stuff, seeing him and stuff. We actually just a couple weeks ago we watched. I believe it's his first film debut or first role as the lead in a movie, Popeye. I saw it was on Amazon Prime, and they had it streaming for free. And yeah, I don't know if I'd recommend the movie to a lot of people, but seeing his performance, you could see he was very, um, you could see Robin Williams in there, and you could see mannerisms and his comic timing and everything just coming out great. And so yeah, there are definitely some issues with the movie. You can tell it was made a long time ago, and maybe had some directorial issues with it. But yeah, I watched that and just recently. So yeah, I continue to and I basically watched it because it's like, hey, it's got Robin Williams in it. It's got to be good, even if it's his first movie. First movie
That's
ever.
true.
Our first leading role ever, and kind of a weird, a non a character not known for their speaking part. Definitely kind of an interesting character to play. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
so yeah, the big shock, big shock.
yeah, definitely. I thought World According to Garp was his first one, but apparently Popeye came out in 1980.
Hmm.
World
Hmm.
According to Garp came out in 82. And
Yeah.
other than that, he was on Mork and Mindy, Happy Days. I guess he was on a couple episodes of Eight is Enough,
Hmm.
and then some Richard Pryor stuff. So
Yeah.
crazy,
You
crazy.
can also see in Popeye, Shelley,
Shelley
was it
Winters.
not Shelley, is it Shelley Long? I don't
Oh
know.
no, no, yeah, you're right, Shelley Long.
From who's also in The Shining in 1980. So
Yes,
if you look at, she was in these two movies that were very,
yes,
very different. Like if you want to watch what she did in 1980, you're like, I do not see how. But yeah, reading up on those stories is interesting too. But that's digressing a little bit. So
yeah. Stefan, you have anything to add to this or?
Um, I guess when I was preparing to talk to you guys, I just heard the news, and it really was quite a shocker to me too. It was really hard for me to, I don't know, hard for me to take. There's so many great films. I loved him in like Awakenings, and I'm trying to think of some of the other movies. Awakenings, I liked What Dreams May Come.
Yep.
oh yeah, excellent.
Death to Smoochie was really funny. That was
Oh,
probably one of
Oh,
my
that's
favorite,
yeah.
hilarious.
like, that was probably one of my favorite movies of his, especially one of his more comic movies of his that I enjoyed. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm like happy to be on the show, but at the same time, it's like it really hit me pretty hard too. So I understand where you guys are coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So, by the way, everybody, that was Stefan.
Yeah. Hey
Stefan
guys.
Holodnick.
Holodnick, yeah.
Holodnick. And Stefan's joining us this week because he's got some stuff to talk about. We're gonna poke and prod him with our sticks, our sharp pointy sticks and stuff like that. First of all, I want to let you guys know everything's over at the website over at twig.tv or thisweekingoogleglass.com. Of course, we had the week off, but before that, we were talking about Minnesota Vikings and agriculture using glass. We've got some great stories, some great podcasts. So go ahead and go back there, link to us, get to the podcast feed, audio. You can find us on iTunes. You can find us on Stitcher. And of course, if you ever want to get a hold of us, it's Jeff at twig.tv with two G's, TWIGG.tv, or Luke at twig.tv. Geekazine for my Twitter handle, and for Luke's, it is
Luke Luca. That's LUKELUCA, where you can read all my latest tweets and see who I'm retweeting about the Robin Williams news and all that good stuff. So
I posted one thing on the Robin Williams thing because my Facebook feed was just completely drenched with reports, and I don't know if this is out of line or anything like that, but I really think that they should get Weird Al Yankovic to take Elton John's "Candle in the Wind" and make a parody of it for Robin Williams. I think that would be very apropos. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. You know, Weird Al would say he's a big influence too, just because he started around that same. Or, you know, he was just getting popular during that time. So I can't imagine that they didn't all kind of influence each other. And yeah. You know.
So, all right. Well, over at twig.tv, where you can go. You can also donate to the cause, to the show. And if you want to be a guest, like with Stefan, then we'll go from there, and we'll get you on the show. So without any further ado, Stefan has it's called Daily Invention. Is that you don't have a website called dailyinvention.com?
Well, it's my moniker, and Daily Invention is the domain that I own, dailyinvention.com.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I pretty much just use the blog and mostly, so I didn't really develop the www part of it. It's mostly just kind of journaling some of the projects that I've worked on in the past. So, and I pretty much, I mean, the latest one is the post I did on the current Google Glass app that I put together. So it's mostly chronicling the learning process that I go through. And I really, I mean, for me, the fun part to any of this is the learning process, and I really enjoy it. You know, I work in education too, so it's I'm more IT in education. I don't really educate, but in the same way, I still enjoy, you know, learning, and I try to contribute. So I mean,
so you're teaching somewhere, or you're not teaching somewhere?
I'm not teaching. I'm not an instructor, but I work in the IT. I work as my official title is online services developer, which means that I'm a lot of it is more web development, or, you know, tying data between different systems, because we have so many different systems. It's like you know, our learning management system, which is like online courses or any of those. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
So you have a blog over at blog.dailyinvention.com. Tell people what they'll see if they go over there.
Okay, if you go over there, yeah, I pretty much have kind of documented my. I also have my photos on there, but the more important part right now is kind of like the learning process and the documentation that I've done. Like the first post, the Ariadne app, and which is probably what you know, what I'm going to be talking about later. I talk about that. I'm big into gadgets, that kind of thing. So I have a good collection. I have an Emotive Epoch headset, and I also have a NeuroSky headset as well. I've been playing around with the wireless EEG headsets, and I just recently got Glass 2 in April. So it's I've been learning the APIs for each of these, you know, devices, and I kind of go through the process of like the apps that I'm building.
Okay. So you said that you got your Glass in April.
Yeah.
Did you how did you go about deciding that you were going to get Glass, and
Well,
Was it something that you wanted at the beginning
oh
and just
yeah.
didn't have the money, or what's
I
your
wanted
story?
at the build. I wanted at the beginning, but I just wasn't cool enough to get chosen like you guys. So at
Well,
least you
that
know.
that is true. That is true.
I did, I did participate in the beginning campaign where you tweeted about glass and you say what you would do with it, and I guess Google didn't pick me, so I mean I ended up waiting for a while, and ended up purchasing it in April, so I'm pretty happy with it now. It's
What
good
did you
to.
say that you were going to do with yours?
Originally, I was looking at using it in the classroom, um, looking at possibilities of building apps and how, like, being able to control the presentation in the classroom with class, using, you know, using the control of glass to, control the slides or that kind of thing within the classroom.
Okay, cool, cool, cool.
So,
So you got your glass.
yeah.
Did you start developing any apps before you got glass, or did you just when you got your glass, everything started
Well,
falling in place?
Well, before Glass, I did develop one Android app that's out in the Android Play store as well. It's a it's kind of a it's built with WordPress, so it kind of extends some of the functionality that WordPress had, that or they didn't have in their app, that I just kind of built it built an app and just kind of I was kind of learning the process. I was familiar with WordPress and WordPress plugins, and then this app kind of interacts with being able to switch the WordPress themes. It's called WP Theme Changer, and it's just kind of it was an app to get me started to learn how to develop in Android, learn how to get it into the Android store, that kind of thing, like
Okay.
the whole process.
So you're from Roscommon, Michigan, just over the pond from me.
Yeah,
Do you find yourself being well? I'm assuming you're the only one in the city with Google Glass. Do you
yeah.
find yourself as a bit of a rock star with Google
Yeah,
Glass?
yeah, sometimes I do. People. The funny thing is, though, is that a lot of people don't. I mean, they don't even notice it, though. A lot of the time, too, when I'm wearing it, I've noticed, or maybe they don't expect to see it, or I don't know what it is, but I'll wear it around sometimes, and at least what I've seen is like they won't see it on me, or they won't even know what I'm wearing. So it's kind of in that vein, they don't really know how to respond to it. But I have had people that have recognized it and asked me about it, and I'm happy to let them know about it. So I wear it around school quite a bit, although I
Yeah,
try not to wear it during meetings or anything, or I try to do it not to. I try not to make people feel uncomfortable about it, but
yeah.
you know,
Do you now I see you got the first of all you got the cotton, and I always like to ask this question:
yeah.
why did you choose cotton? And then with follow up, why did you choose the frames? And tell us which frames you got there with your glass.
I don't remember the name of the frames. I just kind of looked at the frames and I said, I don't know. I thought this looked, I don't
Okay.
know. It looked probably cooler. I don't necessarily wear glasses, so my vision is okay. I have close to 20/20 vision, but I just I like the dark frames, and I don't know. I like the aesthetics of it, I guess you'd say.
So those aren't prescription lenses then.
No, they're not prescription lenses.
Oh, okay. So
I
what
think it looks better than not having any frames with the band across the top, but that's just my feeling on it. No offense there.
what are you trying to say? Hey, you can't do this. You can't do this with your glass. You just can't. You
No.
just can't be super cool like me.
Nice.
So there, bam! You just got served,
Oh,
double
man.
served. I have my other frames somewhere around here. I got the
Yeah.
clear coats around here somewhere. So
Man.
that's what you get for having it a
Yeah.
year later.
Those do
So
look pretty cool.
Yeah.
Those are some of the new sunglasses, aren't they, Jeff?
yeah, these were the new frames that when my glass got bricked from the
Oh, okay.
16 point whatever update, 16.11 update, they offered this as a consolation prize. Although if I would have gotten frames, I would have gotten the cool hard case
Oh
that
yeah.
everybody got with their glass. But I'm glad that I didn't get. I wore glasses since third grade, and up until 10 years ago, I said I was never going to wear glasses again. So technically, I've fallen back on that, and I'm wearing glasses, but
Yeah.
I'm not. So it's all good. It's all good. So
That's
all
cool.
right. So well, you built an app,
Okay.
and I'm going to let kind of Luke take over here on this part because he'll be able to ask the good technical questions
Oh yeah.
with the app. So tell us a little bit about the app, and then Luke, when you have some questions, just jump right in.
Sure.
It's okay. Ariadne is kind of a starter app that I already kind of mentioned to get me started into learning Glass, and it's I named it particularly after the Greek one of the heroines, not heroines as Luke thought I said earlier, but heroines of Greek mythology that helped Theseus slay the Minotaur. So she gave Theseus a thread, so when he went and killed the Minotaur, would have a way of getting back. And it's kind of the same concept. It's a simple concept in that you'd save your location and you travel a ways, and it will give you walking directions back to the location that you were at. So it's that's kind of the idea, kind of the theme of it.
So what are the actual mechanics like? So do you have a voice command that you use to say save my location, or
Yep.
like walk us through just real quick what the kind of user experience is, or what the commands are when you actually use it.
Okay. So when you start out, you do say, OK Glass, save a location, and then it creates a live card on your timeline. It's not a static card. It's one that just sits temporarily in your timeline, kind of like weather or that kind of thing. It sits on that side, and then you can always go back by. So if you need to pull it back up, you just tap on the card itself, and it can give you walking directions. You can also, I also have it as part of the menu, because there's a sliding menu. You'll tap on the card, bring up the sliding menu, and you can swipe back and forth with Glass. It's not voice activated, that part, but you can, like I said, select the return to location, or you can also select save a description, so you can give more of a description on the card.
Mm.
Like if you want to give more information, like I don't know, I always say near the 7-Eleven or something like that. For one thing, the geolocation within Glass can sometimes be a little shaky sometimes, especially depending on where you are. I mean, being where I am, which it's sometimes difficult to get super accurate geolocation.
Okay.
So
Yeah, because we all need to get a Slurpee at one time or another. It's
Yeah.
important. Like right now, it's freaking
Yeah.
warm here, and I'd love a Slurpee. So, anybody want a Slurpee? You want a Slurpee?
For me, it's more helping me, like, if I forget where I park my car, and I think that's probably the main idea of it.
Oh, well, yeah, that's
So-
that's true too.
So basically, the geolocation will get you to the general area, and then if it's a really crowded parking lot, you might say it's in spot 253, or
Yeah,
if it's labeled,
exactly.
or what section it's in, because you're saying the geolocation is accurate, but may not be like right on top
It's
of your
not,
car. Yeah.
yeah, fine-tuned,
So it'll be close, but it may not be accurate. So you offer that, and when you do that description, does that save it as audio, or does that get converted to text that you can just read, or how does that work?
What it does is it saves it to text and then recreates it on the live card. So then the live card has that description on it.
So you don't even have to
Yeah.
tap into it. You just kind of swipe to the card, and you see
Yeah.
whatever you said for your description, and then you can tap and then get navigation to walking navigation to get there.
Yep.
So it's really just a couple of taps to get, so it sounds like it's very, very low overhead. You're not having to do a lot of work when you get out of the car. You can do it kind of as you're walking away from the car.
Oh, yep, yep. It's very. I tried to make it pretty simple, and I mean it's a very simple, straightforward app. And I think most people that design for that are designing glass apps, you don't want anything. I mean, it's a more stripped down version of something that you might see on a phone. So I mean, obviously you're looking maybe to develop these smaller functionalities for glass.
Yeah, whatever has the ability to do something on glass, because it doesn't have the electronics in the glass. It relies on the phone to send pictures to the phone. So
yeah.
Have you thought about attaching a picture to it, or like taking a picture of your car or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I have seen people talking, because there are people that have developed similar apps, and they talked about doing they didn't do the geolocation part, but they did talk about doing a photo, and they did talk about that kind of functionality. And yeah, that's something I just need to figure out how it works into the flow of the app itself. I'm not sure exactly where I'd put it right now. It's something I would have to think about, but
yeah, you could do it when you say save a location. It could just take a picture and then also save the location, but then you kind of have to know to be looking at your car or looking around somewhere. So I can understand just wanting to attach it later, but that might be something to think about adding. If people wanted to download this app and load it on there, I assume it's not in the Glass store yet. Maybe it's something you're considering.
Yeah, it is something that I'm looking at, and I still would have to, there would be quite a bit more I'd have to do with, I probably would have to develop at least a site and some, have a little bit more support than I have for it currently. But right now it's just out on GitHub, and you can, sideload it into Glass, sideload the APK into Glass. So
now, do you have, because we got it up here on the screen, do you have there's a way to set it up so there's just a loader for those who are not developers, right?
Well,
do you have that?
At least what I have, no, you pretty much have to, at least what I have on here, you have to compile it. Maybe I will make it available, the APK available. It's something that I haven't included in there, but I could make the APK available, and you still would have to install it, using ADB.
The debug mode and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you put a link up on your blog for that would probably be really useful. That'd make it a lot easier for any of our viewers who just wanted to have a kind of a one-click download. And then there may be some ways to kind of script that up, like Jeff said, to make it a little easier. But that'd be great. And it sounds like a really useful utility. I may have to try that out. It sounds similar to, but maybe even better than the Google Now card that tries to predict kind of where you're parked at the moment. But this is something where you can actually say, no, I want to save this. Now, one more development question. Can you save multiple locations, or is it always just a single one?
Well, you can only save one at a time.
Okay.
And, I mean, that's maybe something I can extend with that. And Google has kind of, I thought about this, especially with, creating a static card rather than a live card, a static card that sits out on your timeline. But it already kind of does put a static card out on the timeline because it calls Google Navigation, and after you've reached a location, it sticks it on the timeline. So that's just part of navigation that does that. I don't have to, do anything with the Mirror API or anything like that with it. So
So it's using the GDK
to
just load the app. Like the app is running on the device, and then it's using the location API to pull the location from the phone, I guess.
Yep.
So were there any other APIs that you thought were challenging or interesting, or that you're using that you think are kind of neat? And I guess you've got the source code available, so people can download the app and either extend it or kind of make their own thing, see how you did it as well.
Yeah. I mean, are you asking specifically about Glass or about other APIs with?
Yeah, I guess whatever in that app that you're using that you thought was,
Oh,
interesting or new. You said you'd done a little Android development maybe before the show started. You were telling us about that, but um, what about on Glass? Like, what did you find kind of interesting in that?
oh, I mean, I guess, one of the things that I did find interesting was just, um, let's see, that's a question that I don't know. I'm trying to think of what the most, because there were so many things. Just just learning it was, you know, I really just enjoyed learning it, but I don't know, just figuring out how it, you know, I guess maybe developing the geolocation was kind of interesting, or figuring out how to, because especially with glass, it uses several different, you can, it can use the geolocation from Wi-Fi, or it could use, you can get geolocation from Wi-Fi, you can get geolocation from Bluetooth on your phone. You, it, in the way I put it together, it also kind of, what it does is it looks for the most accurate reading it can get, and then, the, um, then presents the coordinates that way. So I think for me that was probably maybe one of the more challenging parts, and maybe the more fun parts, I'd say.
Yeah. What'd be interesting is if you actually did find a way to also pair it with the phone,
Yeah.
and have two locations, because you said there's one location
Yeah.
right now. Because you get into the point where it's like, you bring your car, your wife brings your car or whatever, and then you're in E3 and she's in A2 or something like that,
Yeah.
and be able to both have both locations put in there. I definitely could have used that last week when we went to the Renaissance Fair,
Yeah.
because Jennifer and I spent about 10, 15 minutes trying to find my truck, and I kept hitting the fob button. Where is it?
Yeah.
Where is it? Where is it? Because there was no A10 there, and it's just one big open field. So
Yeah.
so that would be kind of cool to do.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's kind of the idea of, what I wanted for the app initially. Um, I mean, I, and I like the idea too of being able to have multiple locations. There might be some way you could share it, or I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities with that.
Is there
Um,
something you could use with something like a Foursquare API or something like that to be able to do check-ins from Glass?
yeah, that's another thought. Yeah, that's something I didn't consider, but yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, or Yelp or something like that. You could do Yelp reviews about your car. My car sucks today. My car's awesome today. So I don't know. No, but no, it's something with I don't know. Does Foursquare have an open API right now?
I
They
think,
do.
yeah, they do.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be something to. I mean, there's quite a few possibilities with that. It'd be something worth looking at.
All right, that's 2% of all revenues come to me.
I don't know with the way Glass apps currently are. I don't know. I wonder.
Just say yes. It's really cheap right now. Then just say 2%, sure.
2% to 0% is it's a perfect number. Just saying. So, no, seriously though,
Perfect.
so you got this app out, and how many revisions have you gone through so far with
Um,
this app?
how many revisions?
Yeah.
It's probably I could. I, currently it's probably at I'd say 2.0 maybe.
Okay. Would you
I
say
mean,
that this is in a beta state or an alpha state right now?
it's probably in a beta state.
Okay. All right. So the first time you put this app together, what did it fail miserably? Did you have any cool stories on what happened there?
Any cool stories?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'd say that I was. Well, I kind of tested the app out on my own too, and making sure that it was actually storing the location correctly.
Okay.
And so it there was some time where I I don't know. There was some time where I thought it was it was accurately storing the location, but it really, like, and I would drive to, this remote location and drive back, and I don't know, I'd usually, you know, it, I'm trying to, sorry.
That's okay. Take your time. It's a, this is a very popular show. A lot of people are watching. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about all
good.
that.
Yeah,
the literally dozens of people that are.
actually, the two people are watching right now. But afterwards, we get the millions of views after that, and it's all good. So.
But I guess, I mean, long story short, I was doing all this driving around thinking it was working, and it really wasn't properly storing the location, especially continuously. What I wanted to do is I wanted it to, it stored it, it would store it the first time, or at least store it when I first turned it on. It would store the live card, but I couldn't cancel out of it and, recreate a new card from the current location I was at, and I wanted it to do that. So I was, I was driving all around, trying to make sure that that geolocation was working properly. So I did my own debugging with it, and it kind of took me all over Grayling, I guess. That's where I am.
Another thing that you just mentioned with geolocation, I think a lot of geocachers would start to like that app as well, especially if you could do more than one location, because I know geocachers like to remember where they put their geocaches.
Yeah.
Their own sponsored geocaches. So that would be a nice app for them.
You could probably work that in with a website or a web backend or something like that. That would be. It's an interesting thought.
Cool. Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of interesting apps that if people have been wanting to do something like this where it stores a location, like your app on GitHub would be a great starting point for people to look at, to save locations, pull locations, see how you pull it from the location provider and all that stuff. So very very helpful to the community, and a great starting point, and also just sounds like just a really useful app. I may have to get that installed just to play with it.
Well, I'd say, I mean, I learned a lot too from other people, online, and I like to give back too, from what I've learned. So, I mean, I hope that other people also learn from what I've learned. So it's all. That's
cool.
I mean, I always like to contribute to the community.
Well, maybe we could merge our two apps, the Beetlejuice app and that would work. So
I did take a look at the Beetlejuice app.
You get to your car, and all of a sudden Beetlejuice is popping up in your viewfinder. It's right here. Your car's right here. Luke, do you like that idea?
Yeah, I like it. Or you say Beetlejuice 3 times, and then it starts taking you to your car. It's like your car will appear if you say the name of your car. I don't know.
I like that. You go Beetlejuice, 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 and it pops up and goes, "Hey, how's it going? I think your car's like over there, and you have to walk over there to get it." And then you walk over there, and he goes, "Was it not over there? I guess it was over there to get it. So you have to go there to get it."
Yeah.
That's a pretty good impression there.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think so too.
So, are you done with this app? Are you going to continue with it, or are you just put it up on GitHub and moving on to the next project there, just to do some more learning? Well,
I might. I mean, there are a lot of possibilities with it, and I wouldn't be adverse to continuing with the app. I really kind of want to. I mean, like my background, I actually graduated with more of an art background or an art degree, and where I live I lived in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Grand Rapids has this huge art prize festival where you can, they put up like $200,000 for whoever wins it. And I kind of want to, I was looking to actually learn glass so I could start maybe developing for an idea that I had for the art prize contest. So it's kind of, I have so many gadgets, and I'm thinking of, combining them in some way in some sort of interactive art project that I don't want to go too much into the details of it, but it's something that I'm kind of excited about. So
Well, that's cool. That's cool. So, so your daily invention is right now your dailyinvention.com website is just a straight up blog.
Yeah, just go to
Nothing fancy, right? Yeah.
blog.dailyinvention.com and it'll take you. Yeah.
Okay. And then do you have artwork up there too?
Yeah, I have photos. Mostly, I mean, it's pulling right directly from like the Flickr API. So I mean,
Okay.
it just pretty much points you to all my Flickr photography. But I mean, it's kind of a lot of the the hobby stuff I do kind of in one area. Writing, photography, and then also um, you know
Okay.
programming, or at least learning Android development. So.
All right. So dailyinvention.com. Your Twitter handle looks to be Daily Invention. You're up on Google Plus. So what'd you get for Google Plus vanity URL?
What did I get?
Or
Yeah,
did you get one?
it should be. I think it's Stefan Holodnick. When I went through Google Plus, like I created too many more Google Plus accounts than I really wanted to, just because I had so many, and it's a little confusing. So I think it's Stefan Holodnick. And that's
All
not
right.
an easy. That's certainly not an easy last name to remember.
Yeah, actually,
Um,
I just went to the tab, and it's actually Stefan Holodnick.
oh,
It's Stefan Holodnick Daily Invention, one
oh,
word.
okay.
And so if you
I
can
should
remember
shorten
that,
that a little bit.
yeah, it's also his hashtag. Hash Stefan Holodnick Daily Invention.
Yeah,
You'll find that on Twitter and stuff like that.
yeah. If you look for Daily Invention, you should find me too. I mean, that's pretty. I've tried to keep pretty consistent with that name. So
How long have you had that domain?
I've had that domain. It's probably been since 2003, 2004.
Okay. I was
I've
going
had
to
it for
say
a
that
while.
if you would have gotten like 2006, 2007, I would have been really surprised. But
Yeah,
2003 to 2004 sounds about right.
yeah. That was. Yeah, I started pretty early with domains. So
Yeah, I did too. I mean, I had one back in
yeah.
1997, but it was stupid. And then I started
What was
collecting
it?
domains. That's a bad habit, especially nowadays. You went $7 a year for a domain. Now it's up to $15 a year a
Oh
domain. It's
yeah.
just terrible.
You know.
It's going to be like $30 next year or something like that.
Depends on where your host too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, well, Stefan, thank you very much for being on the show. We
Cool.
learned a little bit about some third-party apps. Can't wait to see where it goes from there. We'll be definitely watching what goes on with your app.
Well, it's great to be on your show. I'm glad you've given me some airtime to talk about my app. So I really appreciate it.
And you're welcome to come back on the show as
Okay.
just a person for some of the news to throw out some opinions and stuff like that if you'd like to.
Oh,
You got to
sure.
get a better microphone though.
I can work on that.
Yeah. We had some small technical difficulties, which is why we started just a little bit late today. But we got it all worked out, and it worked pretty well. So,
Yeah.
Luke, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah, it's great. Met Stefan at the Mobile and Web DevCon that I was at a few weeks ago. People that watched some recent episodes might have heard me talk about that. So this is just another way. Hey, I
Yeah.
get connected with people, and now they get to come on the show and kind of see what we do all the time. So yeah, great having you on, Stefan.
Yeah. Well, great to be on. Thanks.
All right. And Luke, where do people go to find out where you are?
So if you're looking for me, it's Luke Luca on Twitter. That's LukeLuca. Or you can email me at luke@twig.tv. That's TWIGG.tv. And then Google Plus is great to see pictures. I've got hundreds of pictures through Glass and stories and lots of different things. So google.com/plus Luke Wallace.
There you go. And of course, you can find me over at Geekazine, Think Magazine. Put in a geek, you've got Geekazine. Geekazine is my Twitter handle, geekazine@gmail.com. Jeff at twig.tv. Even though I haven't fixed this lower third just yet, you can always get a hold of us there. So, all right, well, programming note, just so you guys know, this week we will have a show. In 2 weeks, I might be going on travel. It's not confirmed yet. So that's what we've got so far. And then, of course, I'm going to be doing some travel in late September, early October. which, of course, I haven't told Luke about just yet. If you do want to be a guest on the show, all you have to do is email me, jeff@twig.tv or luke@twig.tv, or knock on our Google Plus doors, our Facebook doors, our Twitter doors, or whatever door you can find us behind. Not door number 2, because that's always the whammy or whatever that thing is. So, yeah, that's where you can get a hold of us and say, hey, I want to be on the show. We record every single Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time, or 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Was it 5? It's 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Pacific Time. So feel free to jump on. We always have the question and answer from the Google Hangout going, so feel free to jump on and be part of that. So, Stefan, one more time, thank you very much for being on the show.
Catch you later. Thank you.
All right, and thanks a lot to Luke. You have a good week, and we'll see you next week.
Sounds good.
All right. And my name is Jeffrey Powers. Thanks a lot for watching. You've been watching This Week in Google Glass. This week with no opera. Take care.